Hey world, it's being Willie come back with another video. Family, you see the title. It says, what happened to no taxation without representation? And I say that because I think, we need to be pretty much conscious of this tax thing, right? I mean, you remember back in the 1700s, allegedly, that's what the reason was for the colonies over here to rebel against the British Empire and declare their independence because they did not like being taxed, and of course the phrase no taxation without representation, meaning that you can't tax us without us having some say-so or having a representative speak on our behalf on these matters, on the amount you guys are deciding to tax us, why are you taxing us, and what is the tax money going to. That's supposed to be something that representation is supposed to help us out on, right? But today, the average person don't even realize how much money they're paying taxes and where the money goes, and how it actually can really affect your bottom line financially and your net worth. Okay, you're talking about wage earners. I mean, you look at your tax, not your tax, but your check stub, and you'll see on the other side where it says deductions. And where it says deductions, of course, we need to also learn how to calculate this stuff. I mean, I'm going to come back with another video. I'm buying a whiteboard because I think it's important to be able to illustrate this, because once you actually see how this is done, you'll be able to do it yourself and be able to understand your money and where it's going, right? And so when you look at your deductions on your tax, on your check stub, you got federal taxes, okay? You got FICA. If you live in states where have a state tax, you got a state tax, and that's just coming out your check, what you earn, your wages, the gross. That's why it's important for them also to understand the difference between gross and net. When you tell people you make $50,000 a year, you make sure that you take in consideration that 7.3% of that is going toward your Social Security and Medicare. So you can automatically know exactly how much money per year that's going out of that $50,000. You dig? And then you have, sales tax. Think about this for a minute. How is it that they're charging us, right, to use our own money? I mean, if I decide to go to the store and make a purchase and something costs $10, why do I have to pay $10.18? Or, depending on what state you live in, man, that's ridiculous. And so now you got a sales tax. And I think one thing that people don't realize, family, inflation is a tax. And why is it a tax? Because basically, if you understand monetary policy, and remember, they tell you this in plain sight. They tell you that they want inflation at 1 to 2%, or actually 2%, annually. That's their goal, to get it at 2%. I think it's at 1.8, 1.9 right now. I got to check, but I'm not too far off of that. But think about this. If the Federal Reserve can come in and basically flood the market with money, well, what's that going to do to the prices of goods and services? It's going to make those prices go up. Okay, because it's price and demand. I mean, you have a huge pot of money out there, then you can afford to raise your prices. But when there's not that much money in the market, then of course you have to lower the prices, because people are a little less apt to spend their money when there's not a lot of money out there. And so that's how the Federal Reserve taxes us with inflation. So inflation is a tax. And we got to take that into consideration, family. And so that's why it's important that you start investing, paying yourself first. If you know they're coming out of the cuff with something called deductions, why not pay yourself first? Because you earned that money. You earned that money, so pay yourself first. If you know that you have to pay 7.3% in Social Security and Medicare taxes, and then probably another 6% in federal taxes. Then, of course, depending on what state you live in, on state taxes. Then, of course, sales taxes here in Texas, I think, is like 0.8 of a dollar. So it's like 8 cents on a dollar. Come on, family. Pay yourself first. So if you pay yourself 20% before you pay bills, or before because you know you're getting taxed right off the cuff. And then also too, you have opportunities to invest that money. And one thing I want to talk about before I leave, family, and I'm gonna get into this at a later time. There's a situation called, well, actually it's an app called Acorns. And Acorns is an app that actually will invest your change for you. While every purchase you make, it invests your change that you have left over after purchases. So, for an example, let's say something costs $3.50. Well, Acorns will take that additional 50 cents, and they will actually invest it for you. And so imagine, because we are the number one consumers in the world. Imagine if you're using your credit card, you link your credit card to Acorns app, and you're getting all of your change investing in mutual funds or investing in equities that can either be a moderate, safe, or risky type of investment, whatever you want, whatever your goals are. You have that. Because a lot of times it's just sitting in a bank, or it's just sitting in your, a piggy bank, or in your car, in your pockets, when it can be actually being invested. And this is a great, great opportunity for my young audience, my young family members, to look into Acorns app. It's a great opportunity for you to start investing, passively, indirectly. I mean, it's happening before you, and you're not even doing anything, right? So look into that family called Acorns app, Acorns. It's similar to Ally. It's similar to a lot of other these investment firms, but it's a different flavor. And I've done some research on it, and I'm pretty excited about it. I've pretty much joined in myself. So if you're interested in family, go ahead and send me an email at beanwillie56@gmail.com, and we can talk about it more in depth, all right? But like I said, this is for entertainment purposes only. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And in the meantime, between time, may the Most High Inside you bring you joy. And being Willie the Truth is out of 5,000.